The Lord is with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Luke. Jesus said to his disciples, "There will be signs in the sun, the moon, and the stars, and on earth nations will be in dismay. Perplexed by the roaring of the sea and the waves, people will die of fright in anticipation of what is coming upon the world. For the power of the heavens will be shaken. And then they will see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. But when these signs begin to happen, stand erect and raise your heads, because your redemption is at hand. Beware that your hearts do not become drowsy from the carousing and drunkenness and anxieties of daily life, and that day catch you by surprise like a trap. For that day will assault everyone who lives on the face of the earth. Be vigilant at all times, and pray that you have the strength to escape the tribulations that are imminent, and to stand before the Son of Man." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of our hearts be acceptable in the sight of God, who is our strength and Redeemer. My dear sisters and brothers, if you're hoping for a warm, festive, Christmassy sermon, you're going to be a little disappointed. See, during the season of Advent, the church and the rest of the world seem to be the furthest apart. For the church, Advent is not the Christmas season. The Christmas season begins Christmas Day, and then lasts then to the Epiphany. No, Advent is a time of preparation. And I don't just mean preparing our homes with decorations, lights, and trees, and buying gifts, and making cookies, and sending Christmas cards, but preparing ourselves mentally, and more importantly, spiritually, to celebrate that great mystery of the Incarnation. The Orthodox describe Advent as a little Lent. It's a time when they will fast, do penance, spend more time in prayer, time in silence and stillness. But why is it so important to have a time of penance before Christmas? Well, if you think about it, before any great moment in our lives, we usually have to endure some type of hardship, some discomfort, even some pain. Anyone who's graduated from college will know that the happiness and pride in achievement and graduation day was first preceded by long nights of studying, sacrificing nights out with friends, and not doing what we otherwise would like to be doing, just so we can get good grades and graduate. For those who are mothers, you'll know very well that before that incredible joy they experienced when you first held that child in your arms, it was preceded by 9 months of discomfort and the pains of childbirth. It would then be only presumed that all the moments in our lives that have given us such great joy weren't achieved without a time of hard work and discomfort. Being silent and still, for most of us, is probably the most uncomfortable situation. We don't like to silence our minds, because when we do so, we begin to learn a lot about ourselves. And that can, in many cases, be kind of frightening and uncomfortable. We like to keep our minds busy, moving from one thought to another, one project to the next. But it's only in silence that we are able to still our hearts, that we can come to truly know ourselves, where we can stand naked and vulnerable in front of God. It is at that moment, in our vulnerability, that we become closest with God. It's in our vulnerability that we can be healed by God. See, that's the great mystery of the incarnation that we're going to celebrate in a few weeks. That God became man so that man could be like God. So I pray with you, and I invite you, to the best of your ability, that during this season of Advent, when the world places a tremendous amount of pressure and stress on our hearts and on our wallets, that we make some time to prepare our soul to experience the incarnation. That in all the distractions, the commercialization, that we spend some time in silence and stillness and prepare a crib within our hearts for the Christ child. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.